Hello there. Let's get started. This video will demonstrate how to set up and run the Flask app, as well as demonstrate what the app can do. To start, you will see there's a file in the directory called config_example.py. You want to fill these parameters in depending on your Firebase setup and your local setup. And the secret key can be anything, so as long as you keep it a secret. As you can see here in the directory, I already have my config file set up and ready to run. However, it is not to be shared with anyone. Once you have that file set up, as demonstrated through the documentation on Firebase website, as well as your custom company name, address, telephone, tax, fax, email, and note. These values are default values for your application and may differ person to person. Once you have that all set up and put down, you may run gunicorn with the directory of the file name. You press enter. As you can see, it's being hosted locally on this port. Let's click it. And this is the application that should open up. Now to log in, I've set it up for demonstration purposes only. The username and password is simply admin. Once logged in, you can set any client name. In this scenario, we will be doing a demonstration for a furniture wholesaler trying to sell to a local furniture shop, creating an invoice for their products. Let's say the client's name is Retro Furnitures. We choose a client. Now, if we have stored products previously in our database, they will come up through our Find Product search engine. I've set up a few examples, so let's see an example product. So there is an example product right here, as well as an epoxy chair used in a previous demonstration video. The example product number 2. Here, we can set any of these parameters, including renaming the product. If we change any of these parameters, then we will also update the value in the database. If we do not change anything, we'll simply add it to this current invoice without updating the database. So for example, let's say the sales price is no longer $21.99. We can set the sales price to $29.99 and we can add or update. Here, as you can see, the sales price has been updated. We can also remove this item if it is no longer needed. Let's find that product again. Once we found the product again, we can see here that its price has indeed been updated in the database. And we can simply add it again with no changes. Now let's add a product that's more useful. Let's create a new product that we can add into our database. Let's say this product is let's give this name something interesting. How about wooden chair? Let's set the cost price to $5 and sales price to $19.99. And let's make the quantity 1,000. Well, I'm not going to leave any notes here because it's really not necessary. And the item has been added. It should also exist in our database. Now let's take a look at what the database looks like. This is my current Firebase project. And under the Firebase project, I can go under real-time database and see what has been updated. Since this is the newest product I've created, it should be at the bottom, right here, wooden chair. It's now saved to our database. And the previous sales price is a list of all prices we have sold the product in the past. The first one is 0 by default. Now, returning to the invoice section here, we've added these two products. We want to create and finalize this product and this invoice. Our next step is either we can update the header from the previous values here that we've set, or we can keep it as is and submit to the company. Since this is a demonstration for a pharmaceutical company, let's change it to a more appropriate example. So let's say wholesale furniture as our company name. Let's just say the address as example address, Ontario, Canada. And let's set the telephone number to, well, I'll just leave the telephone number as is, doesn't really matter. And let's make the email furniture@gmail.com. And the note can just be for testing only, not to be submitted. And this will update the header. Suppose we want to revert back to the original header, we can change it to the default settings, but we don't want this. So let's just go back. Let's just go back to what we had before. So now let's submit. As you can see here, a pop-up has come up. I'm on Mac OS, so you may see something different if you're on a Windows machine. Now simply we can open it, extract the zip file. Extracting it opens up this folder, and we could choose any of these two files. This is to be submitted to the client, and this is for our own data mining purposes. Here we go. As you can see, this is the header that we had set initially as a default value since we clicked reset values for the header, as well as the updated value and the total sales price of our products. And this is our note as well. We can, as a last step, we can do file, save as, and send it to PDF. In the future, we want to automate this, but for now, it requires special system permissions to convert a Word file into PDF. Now, we save the file as is here, and we can simply send this to our client. And that's about it. That's the total demonstration. You also have the option to change your client as shown before, and also log out of the system. Thanks for watching.